I felt in my spirit tonight that I needed to do this video. It's very, very much spur of the moment. I just came across an article that was sent to me by one of my friends. I consider him a watchman, and he constantly sends me information on stuff. Brent Beckman, and it's one of the groups that I belong to on Facebook, but nonetheless, he just sent me an article, and it's entitled, Israelis, Palestinians Agree to a 9-Month Timeline for Negotiations. Just came out hot off the press, July 29th at 8:46 p.m. tonight. So, here's the deal. I got to explain to you why I'm doing this and what I'm so excited about. First of all, this video is, if you study eschatology, and if you're getting this video, first and foremost, it's because I've personally chosen you to carefully consider what I'm about to say here, and I'll try to make this video as brief as possible so you can just chew on it and do your own thing. But I have to explain a little background first, just a minute or two, just to explain to you what happened here. Last night I was reading the Word of God. I was reading the book of Revelation, and I read it twice. You know, it's kind of like a good piece of pie. You know, you can't just have one piece. You got to do it. You got to do it again. Well, my wife and kids were out and about, walking around, and I thought I'd start reading it. I finished the first time. I came through the second time, and I stopped at chapter 6. I thought, you know, I better check my Facebook messages. I'm notorious for just letting them go. And a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, she sent me something in my messages in Facebook that she said, you got to watch this. Tell me what you think. You got to do it. You know, it's something she says, watch it right away. So I watched it. It was from a guy on YouTube. His name's Scotty, and his YouTube channel is Eternal Rhythm Flows. He does an excellent job of teaching on eschatology, pre-tribulation rapture. He's got wonderful graphics. He makes it very easy for the layperson to understand, which I very much appreciate. But I was watching his video, and I'm like, yes, 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 awesome. And it really inspired me. By the way, Scotty, I don't watch a lot of your videos, but the ones that a lot of people send me your stuff. Every time I watch it, I just get pumped up. You just really inspire me. So keep up the excellent work, my friend. But nonetheless, he was talking about the tetrads in this particular thing. He was talking about a lot of stuff, but the thing that really stuck out to me was the tetrads. And what I found about the blood moons, the 4 blood moons that are coming up here in 2014 and 15, I learned about that about 4 years ago. I think it was through Mark Blitz. And at the time, and I'm just going to be honest with you, at the time I thought maybe that had something to do with the mid part of the tribulation, because back then in 2009, 2010, we were thinking that the rapture could potentially happen, you know, in the fall of the year, one of these years. And so there was a lot going on and all that, and I kept an eye on that. I didn't really say anything. Well, as I was watching his video, I thought, wow, that really inspires me. I can't wait. I'm going to mention something about that in my Teshuvah studies that I'm doing for my radio program on WTVO. By the way, if you're not a friend of mine on Facebook, I'm going to put this article on my Facebook page. Please follow me on Facebook. You can get to me from my YouTube account, and you can get to my radio program website from my YouTube account as well. But nonetheless, here's the deal. So I watched his video, and then I began to read in chapter 6 of Revelation, verse 12. I'm just going to read it for you. It says, And behold, when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Instantaneously, I wondered, and this is why I'm making this quick video, I wondered, does that blood, is that talking about the very first of the 4 tetrads of the blood moons? Could Revelation chapter 6 verse 12, that blood moon, could that be the first one? For those of you who may not understand, I'm just going to take a quick second here to explain how I see this, and how most of us kind of see this. We have Revelation chapter 2 and 3. The Lord is warning the church, not the world. He's warning the church to clean up their act, become an overcomer. Revelation chapter 4 verse 1, we're raptured out of here at the pre-tribulation rapture, the first fruits of the barley harvest, okay? Now John is seeing in Revelation chapter 5 what's going on in heaven at the same time. Because we're raptured out of here, Yom Kippur would be the very beginning. I believe Rosh Hashanah, or within the 10 days of Av, the rapture is going to happen somewhere in that period. It's just a personal belief. Yom Kippur then would be the day of the Lord. And I've got some teaching I'm going to be doing on that in my radio program through the month of Elul, which would be the season of Teshuvah. And I'm going to do it. It's going to be very elementary, but nonetheless, my whole point is this. Could Yom Kippur of 2013 be the very beginning of the tribulation? And this article right here, Israelis, Palestinians agree to a 9-month timeline, that brings us right to April of 2014. Could it be that the first blood moon on April 15th of 2014, could that be the same blood moon of Revelation chapter 6 verse 12? It's just a question. I want you to pray about it. Now, if you've already heard this teaching, I have not. I happened to stumble upon this quite by accident through a friend of mine who sent me Scotty's thing. Then I started reading the Revelation again. At that point, I just went, whoa. And then tonight, I got this article talking about a 9-month timeline that they're going to have the negotiations done. I just wondered, are we that close? Now, we have to be careful, too. We don't want to be date setters. We're not doing that. We're not setting a specific date. But like Paul said, we can know the seasons. And he says, again, we are not left in the dark. Could, as a watchman, you have to pray about it as a watchman and a watchwoman. How do you now at this point deal with this? I want you to consider that, please. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to pray about it, but I had to get this information out there. So that's it. I'm going to cut this video off right now. I'm not prepared to do any real teaching on this, but I wanted to get the message out there. I wanted to get this. I felt it was an urgent message. So the Lord be with you, and as you consider what this information might entail. Are we that close? That's my question.